Hello, my name is Starlight and welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature somewhere. And right now I am at a really beautiful small hiking trail. This is my second time. It's really close to home because I had my moving sale. I'm trying to balance myself out and I have other things to do. So this is really close to home, like 15 minutes away from where I live. And like I said, I've only been here one time before and I really enjoyed this hiking place. It's kind of funny. It's right behind a Walmart store in my area. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that's 1990. Sorry, you can find me on YouTube at Starlight, and that's Kathy with a K. And you could give this video a thumbs up. You can share my videos with your family, your friends. And I'm over here looking, and there's this fish. You can also share my videos with a cat, a dog, and a fish. Why not? Some of those fish are very smart, like dolphins. They are so beautiful. But anyway, anyway, sorry about that. I'm getting all tongue-tied. Besides sharing my videos, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Ding, ding, ding. I don't have my bell with me right here. It's with me, but it's way buried in my backpack. And also, you can leave a message down below. And you can follow me on Instagram, and that's at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So here I am. I'll show you the name. Hopefully I'm going to get this right. Is Schiffendecker Farm Preserve. So this is my second time. So here we go. Since it was such a close drive, I really didn't know what I was going to do. Ooh, there's a little chipmunk on the top of the stairs here. There he is. I do have, and there he goes. Starlight loves all the animals. So yeah, I'm going to take you on a tour here on this beautiful hiking trail. And like I said, it was so close to my house. This works out perfect because I need to do my yoga, and I already did my meditation earlier this morning, but I need to do some more. And I have to go shopping, so I couldn't go very far, for the rest of this week. But hopefully this weekend I can go somewhere. Because I'm having my moving sale every day, and that gives me time to get things organized in my apartment and get things cleaned up. But anyway, I just want to say I really love all of you, and whether you believe me or not, I do have a deep diver out there, and he says the same thing. Is I love what I do as far as making YouTube videos. I have fun with everything ever since I've started, and it has taught me to learn how to use my computer. Oops, that felt like poopy down there. I'm like, because dogs, it's not the dog's fault if there's poop on the trail. It's the owner's fault for not picking that up. But so I just want to let you know how you are so important to me, and thank you so much for any videos that you watch. And I know there's different topics that might have nothing to do with you, like I have one coming up, and that's about parents, having kids, and I haven't done one of those in a long time, so that's why I figured, make it, I have not talked about videos with families as far as bringing up your kids and things, the do's and don'ts really with children and families. So anyway, I was thinking on my way here is, what do I want to talk about on this video? And I did have something that came up recently, and I said, you know what, that's a great topic. But so I just wanted to really say thank you all, for watching my videos, leaving a comment, or subscribing, you know, I really appreciate it, or liking my videos, or sharing. I don't know if anybody, I haven't figured out how to be able to tell that or not, if you can as a YouTuber. So anyway, here we go on this hiking trail to see what Starlight's gonna talk about next. So yeah, I learned something a long time ago when I used to go to church, because and it was a very valuable lesson, and I noticed that a lot of people have a hard time with this, and it has a lot to do with you know, it's like kind of fear. It's talking about fear, because some people you know, are so afraid that they're going to offend people, you know, that they're going to hurt their feelings. Some people, not everybody, there's some people, they don't give a shit. So this video is not for kids. You know, because there are those types out there, they don't really care at all. But for the ones that really do care, you know, a lot of times, you know, because of fear, and they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and, you know, we do have to be careful with that at times, you know, because, you know, I've had some people throughout my life, and I have one now, is, and it is kind of funny. Some people, they might tell you, they might see something in your life, and, you know, like if they're a real true friend, and some people do this out of spite, though. They might notice something about you, and they might just bring it right up in a rude way, you know, and tell you something. And then there's other people that could be a close friend or a loved one out there, like a family member or a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or twin flames, you know, where they care about you, and they might see something that you're doing, and they want to help you out, so they will give you some really good sound advice. Like, this is what I do with my YouTube channel, is I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. It's something that you have to decide. You know, that's why God gave us a free will. He gave all of us a free will to decide on our own what we want to do as the people. Whether, you know, like that's how you're going to find out who you are, is by taking chances and risk in life, and try new things, and, you know, find out who you really are. And then you know if you're afraid of ever trying anything, then you're never, you know what, you could be missing out on stuff. And it's so important that you are not afraid, you know. And like, I broke the fear of driving. Now it doesn't even faze me. I pray to Archangel Michael to protect me, of course. You know, like if I'm going to a hiking place and I've never been there before, and I wear my seatbelt on, you know, I definitely wear my seatbelt, you know, but I broke that fear, you know, and I wanted to go hiking in different places and travel around the world. But, you know, there's other things that I want to break the fear of too. So it's so important to face your fears. And there's like little fears, then there's medium fears, and then there's big, huge fears out there. So I'm going to really focus on the little fears. They seem little, but they are kind of, in a way, it's kind of like a big thing, though, is because because of a fear that a lot of people have, it actually will cause them to sin. And I say that word as sin, as, you know, because they are afraid to really say what's on their mind and heart and be honest. Instead, they end up lying about it. And I'm going to get to that point. And when I was younger, when I started off going to church, you know, when I got kind of settled in, and they were telling me, they told Starlight all kinds of horrible stuff, like, you know, I wasn't wearing the right clothes, you know, I wasn't listening to the right music, my language wasn't good, you know, I said a lot of stuff in those days, you know, and, you know, they were correcting me on so many different things, you know, like the places that I went, you know, the things that I ate, or the things that I drank, you know, the people that I hung out with. So, you know, I was learning a whole lot of stuff that really was actually, like, it was a nightmare though. I was getting stripped away, like everything that my whole life, that I've done was getting stripped away. Like I was, pulled out of my body, pulled out of me, and it was very hard because at those days I didn't have a lot of money. And then, to find out that I was not wearing the right clothes and all that. So anyway, once I got settled into the church, and I felt more comfortable after being there for like a couple years or so. The pastor would preach in front and would announce and say, hey, we're looking for some people, there was all kinds of things going on in the church. And if you've ever gone to church, you know what it's like, where the pastor or somebody will stand up front and say, we're looking for volunteers, hey, if you want to join the choir, if you want to work in the nursery, if you want to, I'm sorry, there's an airplane going right above. If you want to go do visitations, if you want to go knock on doors, well, I'll tell you what, Starlight did all of it. If you want to clean the church, yeah, Starlight did that too. So when I started off, they would announce those things. And I didn't really know how the whole church system worked, like I didn't, I realized after a while that the people that were going to church was the people that were doing the work in the church, cleaning the church or watching the kids or in the choir, so they never hired anybody. They always had somebody at the church that would help them out. Like if they needed plumbing, if they had a plumber in the church, more than likely the plumber in the church would do the job, or electrical work. Hey, Brother Bob knows how to do electrical work. So the reason why I'm bringing all these things up is, so way long time ago, I started going to church in 95. And my first, well, it's not my first church, but when I was an adult, to go to church by myself without, like anybody helping me out through that is, I was like, oh yeah, Starlight wants to join the choir. I love to sing. And I'll tell you what, when I got to church, I love singing the Gospels. I love singing Christian music, and I love singing other kind of music. But, I was getting my foot and, like I was opening up my big mouth. And I'm like, yeah, I want to. But, what I was learning is that if you join choir, that means that, there's times that you got to show up at at church, like after hours at night. Maybe you show up at church before church started, before everybody else got there, maybe an hour early, or maybe you have to come on different days of the week so you can practice singing, so then you can be in the choir and your voice will sound great and blend in with everybody. And but what it was that I was being taught, because I really didn't know this stuff, is when you say you're going to do something, that means you really got to be responsible and that you're going to show up to all those things. Unless an emergency came up, like if my kids got sick, I wouldn't be able to go to work because I was a single mom. I wouldn't be able to go to church and go in the choir because I have to stay home with my kids, and I've seen this throughout my life, and it is kind of funny. It happens with everybody, that, or you've gone through this in your life somewhere, or somebody that's done this, has been guilty of this. So what ends up happening, or maybe see what I was learning on that before I get too carried away is, I would say yes, but I'm like, oh, that means I had to show up for this night and that night, and then I had to stay there for that time, and my kids were really small at the time, but they were big enough that they can hang out at the church and not be a problem. They were old enough for that. And so then later, maybe, have you ever had somebody come up to you and say, hey, would you like to help us out and do something? Or, hey, would you like to come to my house? Hey, would you like to go hiking with me? Somebody might ask you a question, and this is why I'm bringing this whole topic up. I I have invited a couple people, like actually 3 people at my apartment, because I had the moving sale. And I thought, well, I'm going to be at the apartment. One guy, I wanted to donate stuff to him because he's into making sticks, a Jamaican man. And I thought, hey, I could help this man out, with some of my arts and crafts and goodies, to help him out to make money. And another man that I just recently met, I thought, hey, I could, we had a great conversation, one of the best ones that I've had in a while. Somebody that actually was getting what I was talking about. And a female that I just met. Because Starlight's meeting all kinds of people lately. And the female said, that she was going to be sleeping. And then the males, they said, yeah, not today, but how about Sunday? And this is what happens in life, is that, you gotta, if you say you're going to do something, like I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, I know God, I'll tell you, I've been guilty of this, have you ever made a deal with God? I know there's a lot of people making a deal with the devil, but we're not talking about the devil right now. Have you ever say, all right, God, if you bless me in this area, I'll do this. Where you make promises to God, sometimes what happens, to be honest with you, we forget what we say. We forget that we talked to God and said, God, yeah. And Starlight's has actually said things to God a lot of times. I laugh about it because there's times when I really, 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 really desire to have something. I will talk to God and say, universe, I don't care what I have to go through. I don't care what I got to let go of. This is what I desire. And I pray to my angels. I'm like, angels, whatever it is that I have to do, please help me to, help me to know what I got to let go of. Help me to know what I got to do. Please communicate with me. Let me know what it is. What am I not seeing, so I can see clear? And that's what I've been asking a lot lately for, is clarity and guidance and wisdom. Out of everything. Those are, asking for wisdom is my thing right now, So I'll tell you what, when you talk to God and you make deals with God like I do, God is going to put you to it. Later on you find yourself like in a bad situation that you think is bad, you think it's a negative situation, and then you're like, you get confused, you're like, what's going on, universe? Hello? Why is my world upside down right now? And I'm actually, I'm spitting out here. But I'm experiencing something like that right now, is, and it is so beautiful, though. The universe is so beautiful. And I pray a lot. I talk to the universe and archangels every day, all through the day and night, even in the middle of the night. And the other day, I was like, I have a deep diver out there, and I am like, well, I'm like, wow, my world is upside down right now. I'm laughing right now, but man, I'm not always laughing. I have to admit to that. But and then it just hit me the other day. I'm like, you know what? I've been like waking up every morning now, a little bit after 4. I'm so thankful in the morning, that is. I'm so grateful that the universe and the archangels are helping Starlight to wake up at that time, because I need that time. My time is valuable. My time is precious. That's why I can't waste my time with people that don't even plan on changing their, I could talk somebody's ear off, and spend hours with them, and it could go in one ear and out the other. And here I'm thinking I'm helping them out. And I'm helping them out, but it's taking all my time and energy. Those are, the energy vampires you got to watch out for, you know. So I was trying to understand what the universe has been doing in my life with where I am, and now I'm moving out because the universe wants me to move out. And there's reasons for this, but it's so funny. I've been putting things off because I'm like, universe, I, you know, like kept on saying I need time. I'm like, I can't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, my alarm clock has gone off every morning at 4 o'clock, but Starlight could not get her butt out of bed. I was like lifeless. Yeah, I'll go back to sleep. And so this has been like my 5th day maybe of being able to wake up like a little after 4 o'clock in the morning. And now I'm so amazed of all the things that I get done. And it's so funny because with this moving sale, I'm actually accomplishing things that I've been putting off because I said I don't have enough time to get those things done, because the universe wants me to have balance in my everyday life, where by the time I get done balancing everything in my life, there's no time to get the things that I needed to get done in my apartment. So now, you know, I'm sitting in my apartment saying, I can't believe it. You know, I've had to work on this project. You know, I got lots of projects at home to do, but I have a hard time staying home in the daytime. But because I have to stay at the house for a moving sale, it's like now I'm getting all these things done, even though before, like, over the weekend, my world was upside down. But now I'm like, wow, look at this stuff that I'm getting done now. You know, I'm amazed. And you know, like, and now I got more time to do spiritual things. And that's what my goal has been, is to, you know, because I get signs from the universe saying, Starlight, you got to spend more time. You know, the universe doesn't beat us up like some people do. The universe is gentle with us, like the archangels. They're gentle with us. But a lot of us don't see that, you know. And I don't see that sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, why is everything falling apart in my life? Why is, you know, but that's the, you know, then I realize that's not the right question, is what are you trying to show me, universe? What is, you know, like, what are you trying to show me? And that's why I ask the archangels all the time, like, you know, is there something I can't see? Is there something I'm blind to right now? Because that happens a lot of times. Sometimes we got to let go of things in our life in order to be able to see really what the universe and God is, and the angels and the universe is trying to show us. So now back to my reason of this video is, so please, you know, like, you got to be careful if you say you're going to do something, you know, and nobody, the 2 men, nobody called me up and said, Starlight, sorry, but today is not a good day. You know, what it is that they didn't have to say that they were going to come to my apartment. You know, if they didn't really want to go to my apartment because I'm having a moving sale, I understand. You know, I understand. You know, like, you got to be honest with people, and, you know, like, don't volunteer to do something when you don't want to do it. You know, don't, you know, like the deep diver says, don't say a yes when it's a no to yourself. And that is so important. I've been, you know, and that's what I did long time ago at the church. You know, before I knew it, Starlight was involved with everything. The nursery, the bus ministry, the choir, you know, cleaning the church. You know, they had a lot of my time, you know, and then I got myself all overwhelmed, you know, because I opened up my big freaking mouth and I said that I was going to do all those things. And then later on, you know, I wanted to go and do this and that, but I couldn't because I said I was going to do something, you know. So you got to really think before you speak, and don't worry about offending anybody. Don't worry about hurting, you know, you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. You know, they're going to, that's a part that they have to grow and mature in. You know, if they can't take it that, you know, you say, oh, you know, I can't go over to your house, or no, I can't give you a ride to the store today, you know. Maybe you get, you know, like a lot of times some people out there, they are looking for people to, you know, just to use you, you know, where there's times that they can actually do it themselves or find a different way of doing things, but they might just go to you all the time and expect you, because they see, oh, you know, she always does everything, or he always, anytime I ask, for anything from this person, they always jump and do everything. And that's what Starlight was doing all the time before. You know, they would say, hey, do you want me to give you gas money? I'm like, oh no, I'll don't worry about it, don't worry about it. But you know, really, I needed the gas money. You know, and then it's my time driving like an hour to your house, you know, and then you want me to go 45 minutes over there to just, you know, go at a secondhand store, you know, and then another, you know, like all this time and, you know, and the gas money. And it's because I didn't want to say no to that person. And it could be your family members, you know. You know, sometimes there's people that think, well, you're my family member, you gotta help. No, I don't. You know, just because they're your mom or dad or brothers or sisters or whoever, it doesn't mean that you actually have to do it. You know, you gotta speak up. You gotta say exactly what's on your mind. If you don't want to do it, let them know, and you don't even have to tell them why. Just say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. You know, you don't want to lie about it, because then, you know what, then that ends up working on you later on. Then you feel guilty and all that stuff. And it's, you know, we're not really supposed to be lying and being dishonest, because it's not going to really help us out on our spiritual journey or life at all. And when you get away with one thing on lying, then you start, you know, it ends up being a bigger habit. And then you're lying about everything and anything. And, you know, just that it's so important that, you know, you be honest with people, you know, like, so like I said, you know, like here I was in my apartment and I had so much, you know, like I was busy doing stuff. And, you know, I was waiting for the one man to show up in the morning time, because that's when he said, and the other person I didn't know, you know, and here I'm like, oh no, what if they both show up at the same time? So here I'm like wondering, oh no, because, you know, but, you know, and there was no phone call, there was no texting even the next day saying, hey, I'm sorry, I got caught up somewhere, you know, any of that stuff. But the whole purpose of this message is to, if you don't want to do something, don't make it like somebody's got to twist your arm to get you to do something. You know, I've been guilty of this my whole life, doing so many things that I did not want to do. I didn't want to do it. Then I did it. And then what happened later on when I got back home? I was like, why did I say that? Why did I say yes to something when it was a no to myself? And then I was aggravated, because sometimes when you help other people out, they're saying, oh yeah, can you help me do this and that? And you're like, you didn't really want to do it, but then you ended up doing it. And then something happened where, you know, there's some people, they're really slow about getting their stuff together. And then they're like, hey, you know, they stretch you even further. They're like, hey, you know, now that I got you here, can you help me do this? And then they get you to do that. And then before you know it, and then, oh yeah, like, can you help me? You know, like, it never ends. And believe me, these stories are real. I've helped people out like this, where, you know, it just that, they kind of try to put a guilt trip on you if you don't, you know, like, help them out. So don't let anybody put a guilt trip on you. You know, you gotta be honest. If you really don't want to help anybody out, you know, because God is only gonna, the way I look at it, what I learned about tithing and giving money away, God's only gonna bless you when you do it from the heart. If you give God money and you're grudgingly like, oh, here, take this money, God's not going to bless you for that, because it's a poor attitude. It's a bad heart attitude. You know, God wants us to give and do things willingly from the heart, not just because we feel pressured by the people that we have to do something. You know, you got to really have your heart into it, because that's where the blessings come in. And there was one time a while back that it was because I was going through some financial problems. And weird things happened because Starlight, you know, felt pressured about giving somebody money. And, you know, I got kind of a little upset a little bit. And sometimes, you know, but it's a test, you know. And so I have to say that I didn't give from the heart, but some weird, funky electrical problems were happening at that time. And I'm like, huh, did I actually do that? Because, you know, our bodies are very powerful. You know, I was going to make this video before about the same topic about electrical wires and electricity with our bodies and stuff, but there is something funky with our bodies, and I'm going to try to explain it. I don't know if you've ever explained, electrician might understand this, but have you ever had, because this has happened in my apartment where I am, is where you got a lot of energy flowing in your body, you know, and there's times that I'll turn a light switch on and I get zapped, like I get like an electrical shock. Not really bad, it's just that you just notice because I got so much energy inside of me. You know, I believe that technology and stuff like that can actually start acting funky, you know, because if those emotions are, you know, like your stuff going on in your body, I believe that we're powerful enough that, you know, with our bodies and however it is made, our bodies are made, that, you know, things like that, you know, like there's people that have, you know, like even going down the street, I've had this happen, my brother and I had this happen to us a lot, where you're walking at nighttime and you go by a light and the light turns off and the street lights, and then you walk, you know, and then certain areas like the lights would actually go off as you're walking through the town or something like that. There's other people that experience the same stuff, you know, so I believe if you're at a high frequency or something like that, or, you know, maybe you got emotions that are so super strong that you can cause like electrical stuff going on without even being aware of it. But so I believe that I believe somebody else experienced that too, because somebody was asking to give and maybe they didn't want to give, and they're like, what the heck, you know, you want me to give more, you know, and you know, they were upset and angry about something, you know, because, you know, a lot of people, they live in a fear mode, and believe me, I know what it's like when you don't have a lot of money, and you know, you got to pay bills or pay this and that, and then you're looking at what you got in your bank account, and that's why, you know, that's why it's so important to really to give from the heart, you know, if, you know, because that's, God's not gonna, you know, like the day that I did that, electrical problems were happening, and I'm like, huh, that is so weird, and you know, I didn't give from the heart at that one time I did not give from the heart, but I felt like it did it. It caused some kind of electrical problem, you know, so we have power in us. We are very powerful, and I know my minutes are getting up on this video here, but yeah, be honest. Number one, be honest with yourself. You know, if you don't want to go, you know, you might have family members, hey, you know, why, you know, and this is how people, you got to watch, people are really tricky. They know you so well, right? Maybe you don't want to go, but they know that you like eating dinner at their house. So they're like, hey, why don't you come over? We want you to come over for dinner. And you don't really want to go over their house because you want to do something else. But then they're like, we're having pizza tonight. And you love pizza so much that, you know, you forget even about that you didn't want to even go. You know, or you feel, or it could be a meal, but then you feel like, I don't want to say no because they're asking me to dinner. You know, it's like a pressure thing that they do. And believe me, I've gone through this many times, and I had to say no, you know, because it was getting late. I had to get home. I had other stuff to do. And, you know, people they'll have little tricks, you know, where they'll like, hey, you know, like if you come over, you know, they'll still try to have a way of getting you to come over, you know, where you might totally forget, you know, that you didn't want to go there. And then you say yes. And then later on when you're getting home and all that stuff, then you're like, oh man, you know, you did get the pizza, right? You're like, oh man, but you know, and then you're like, oh, I didn't want to go because of certain reasons, and then now you're behind. Everything that you supposed to did that night didn't get done because you knew you didn't have the time to go to that house to eat that yummy pizza, but you couldn't refuse. They used you, you know, they used that pizza to get their way with you, and now you got to, you know, now it's like it might, you know, you might have a deadline or whatever on getting some project done or whatever, or, you know, or it can mess up your sleep pattern, all kinds of stuff. So really be honest, and, you know, just, you don't have to tell them why. Test them out, you know. That's what I like doing. I don't have to tell you why, because that's what I learned when I was younger. No, I don't want to go over your house, you know, or no, you know, I was trying so hard to teach my kids ways of not lying when they were little, you know, where if you've seen it coming before, say, hey, let's make plans later on to go do something. So then that way, when you know they're going to ask you for something, then you can give them an honest answer and say, oh, well, we got plans later on. Because then it's like, oh, okay. You know, so I didn't want to teach my kids to lie, but I was sneaky about getting out of stuff when I didn't really want to do it. So, anyway, yeah, this is a beautiful hiking place out here, and the bugs, you know, I see like some mosquitoes, but they're not really, I'm saying that, and, you know, as long as you're moving, I guess, they're not really bad out here comparing where I went camping. Woo, you should have seen Starlight legs after, you know, like of camping 3 days. My legs were bitten up like they were hungry. That takes like a week for that stuff to, you know, I think last night was my last itchy night of getting bit by, oh no, that actually, that was a different bug. Because when I do yoga, I lay on the grass, well, on my mat. So anyway, just get some bright light here, is I do love you, and I just want to help you out, is to, you know, let those people know, whoever it is if they're stealing your time, you know, or your energy, or, you know, your gas money, you, like, you know, you got a beautiful heart, and they see people have done that with Starlight. They're like, oh, she always likes helping us out, you know, and it is something. And then, you know, there's times I've helped people out so much, and I'm not going to really go into the details of this, but, you know, where were they when it was my birthday? Didn't even get a phone call, you know? Ain't that interesting? You know, somebody that I definitely would thought that would give me a phone call on my birthday, out of anybody and everybody, you know, it's just that, you know, they want me for this and they want me for that, but they don't even know that, you know, like it's, and they knew it was my birthday. Couldn't even make a phone call, you know, to say happy birthday, you know, and but they expect you to be there for their birthday. So anyway, I do love you. Oops. Sorry, I had a phone call coming through. I'm gonna have to make that after. And I'm so sorry this is so long, but really, because you don't want to lie to people, really, that's the whole point of this message. Don't say something that you know, you don't say yes when it's a no to yourself, you know. So I am still working on that, baby, you know, but I have done really good on that, you know. So anyway, I do love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can share my videos, since I heard a bird out here with a cat, a dog, and a bird, you know. And don't forget your family members and friends. Starlight sometimes forgets your family and friend members. And besides is to, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can push the notification bell. I'll ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. And you can leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram at Starlight, at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman. Starlight. I get all these names mixed up. So anyway, I do love all of you. You take good care of yourself, and you know, be strong. You could do this. Say no. No. Practice in the mirror before you go. You know, you're going, I'm going to go to so and so's house. You know, and when I go there, because they don't have a car and I got a car, they're going to, it's that time of the month. Not really. Starlight doesn't get that anymore. But, I'm sorry, but you know, it's that time of the month when they need me to go take them shopping. You know, they have the money that they could do this and that with, but they don't want to take the taxi. They want to use me, so they could save money, or whatever the case may be. You know, say no. You know, you'll feel better. You know, after a while they'll stop asking. They'll be like, huh, they're not helping me out anymore. You know, and they'll be like, oh, I don't want to ask them anymore because they're not doing it anymore. You know, the more you do stuff, the more they're gonna, I'm telling you, it's like kids, you know, the more you give to them, the more they want. And just like all of us, we all fall guilty for that. You know, I just got a blessing from the universe, and now it's like, okay, thank you. Now universe, I need help here. So anyway, I do love all of you. This is Starlight, love and light. Peace.